Hello students, Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor at College of the Desert. I look forward to sharing with you a well-rounded sequence today, and I look forward to this opportunity where we come together and we grow in our practice. And that's a little bit about our practice today. I keep a yoga journal and I write routines. I enjoy to develop sequences for you all. But part of my last night when I was writing is why I practice. And I want you to know, I just shared this and I doodled this. It's not a lot, but it's when I step on the four corners of my mat. It is a chance to strengthen my mind, my heart, and my body. My practice challenges me. It intrigues me and it brings me joy. My practice has cultivated my physical and emotional strength. It is an honor that I share this practice with you. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you all of what my practice means to me. As we get started, let's do 2 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And we're going to get started lying on our backs here. I always have 2 blocks and a strap nearby and a wall. That's kind of how my practice goes. We're going to get started lying on our backs in a supine position, and we're going to gently clasp around the shins and trying to get the lower back towards the ground. And we're going to guide both knees over to the right. Extend that left arm to the side and gaze over that left shoulder, kind of releasing the upper and middle part of our back here. We'll stay here several breaths. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Calm the mind. Gently release, come back to the center. Help guide both knees now over to the left. Extend that right arm out to the side and try to get the right shoulder onto the ground and then gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Calm the mind. Gently draw both knees back to the center. Come into happy baby pose. You're going to clasp the thighs to make it easier here. Or you're going to clasp the belly of the thighs or draw the arms on the inside. Clasp outer edges of the feet and draw the knees towards the shoulders and the tailbone towards the ground. We'll stay here a while. Beautiful supine hip opener. Trying to get the lower back almost evenly onto the ground and continue to draw the knees towards the shoulders. Inhaling positivity, exhaling negativity. Gently release. Clasp around the shins and maybe light rocking forward and back. Coming towards the edge of the mat. Trying to get up without the hands and the knees if we can. Root and rise. Coming towards the center of the mat. Draw the hands heart-centered. Just take a moment and kind of reflect within what your practice means to you. Lower the head to the fingertips. The beauty and the importance of your personal practice. Let the postures and the breath speak to you individually. Honor this practice and the time that you set aside. Take a moment just to continue to reflect within. Acknowledge beautiful and unique you on this mat. And gently look up. Beautiful. Coming to the edges of the mat. In Tadasana, awaken the arches of the feet, active legs. Inhale, we're going to draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. On the exhale, we're going to swan dive down. We'll do a few dynamic forward folds, heel and toe. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone out and back, hands to the shins or the thighs. Framing the feet, we're going to step that left leg back. We're coming into a low lunge. Let's do 1 or 2 dynamics. Inhale, draw those arms up. Energy out the fingertips. Your own beautiful practice on the 4 corners of the mat. Lengthen the spine, breathe into the hips. Beautiful low lunge Anjaneyasana. Gently release. Adjust that back left knee, preparing for gate pose. Press outer edge of that right foot. We're kind of moving around the mat here. Gently draw the right hand down and that left arm up. Beautiful gate pose. Open that side body. Inhale, rise. Left hand down to the hip or to the block or to the ground. Grow the pose from the back foot through the hips, through the crown of the head and the fingertips. Gently lower the hand. Come into Falakasana, core awakening. Active legs, active shoulders and core. Round the upper back just a bit. Connect to that core. Draw the left knee to the chest, to the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Lower the right knee to the ground. 1 or 2 dynamics. Then inhale, we're going to draw those arms up. Beautiful low lunge. Press through the top of the back foot. Breathe into that right hip. Lengthen the spine. Lower the hands to the ground. Quarter turn that back knee. Press outer edge of that extended leg. And draw, come into gate pose, left arm down, right arm up. Rotate, leverage that torso, chest to the sky, to the ceiling. Inhale, rise. Right hand to the hip or to the ground, grow the pose. Press outer edge of the back foot, draw that hip forward, grow the pose. Gently release. Hands down, transition back to Falakasana here. We'll stay here several breaths. Belly button to the spine. Dome the upper back. Active legs, active core, shoulder engagement. Gently lower to the knees, one of my favorites, Ashtanga Pranam, knees, chest, and chin all at the ground at the same time. My hands are close to my chest, my elbows close to the sides. I stay here several breaths. Tailbone out and back. I'm really breathing into the back side of my body. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Sending those legs back, hands by the chest, easy cobra, transitioning easy cobra. Shoulders in line with the elbows. I press to the tops of the feet, knees off the ground. It's just a light awakening of the lower back. On the exhale, all fours. Walk hands forward a few inches, lead with those hips. Come into down dog. The hands are shoulder width apart. Fingers spread evenly. Feet are hip distance apart or a little bit wider. I want to firm those thighs. Take the thighs back and up, tailbone back and down. Belly button to the spine. Stay here several breaths. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Breathe into any stiffness, any pain. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift, either hands to the shins or the thighs, tailbone out and back. Exhale, come into forward fold. See if you can come forward a little bit more to the midfoot. If we need to do a little dynamics for those hamstrings, bend and straighten the legs a few times. That's okay. Do the best that you can. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Coming to the edge of the mat, I'm going to take off my little sweatshirt here. Coming into the beauty of our practice. Our practice somewhat ignites our day, it inspires us. Rooting through the four corners of the feet. Inhale, draw those arms up, energy out the fingertips. Exhale, come into swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, either hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground. Tailbone out and back, gaze forward and down. Gently frame the feet. Step that right leg back, hands to the hips. Come up vertical to beautiful horizontal low lunge. Energy as you root through both feet. Energy up the spine, out the fingertips. Breathe into the hips. Draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs. Beautiful low lunge. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Gently release. Quarter turn that back knee. Press outer edge of that extended leg. Come into gate pose. Draw the arm down, left arm down, right arm up. Open that side body. Inhale, rise. Right hand to the hip, to the ground. Grow the pose. Draw that hip, almost that right hip forward. Press outer edge of that left foot. Reverse gate pose. Gently release, hand to the ground. Come back, transition to plank pose. I love it. Core awakening here. Come on to the balls of the feet, but yet press those heels back. Active legs. Dome the upper shoulders. Beautiful core. Draw the right knee to the chest, to the nose. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Come up vertical to horizontal. Low lunge. Gently release. Quarter turn that back knee. Press outer edge of that right foot. Gate pose, right hand down. Draw that left arm up. Inhale, rise. Left hand down to the hip or to the ground. Grow the pose. Rotate that pinky in. Draw that left hip forward. Lower the right hand. Step back into Falakasana here, plank. Core awakening. Beautiful plank pose. Several more breath cycles. Connect to our entire body in this pose. Beautiful. Transition to Ashtanga Pranam, lower to the knees. Knees, chest, and chin all at the ground at the same time. Notice my hands by the chest, elbows close to the side. I'm rooting from my knees, my chest, and the chin. Ashtanga Pranam. Ancient yoga secret. So what the old yogis would do is to warm up the back side of the body. And extend those left legs back, legs back, transitioning to cobra. Hands by the chest, easy cobra. Draw the shoulder blades down the back ribs, shoulders in line with those elbows. Press through the feet, knees off the ground. Transitioning to all fours. Come into down dog. Stay in down dog. Beautiful. Walk the hands and the feet towards each other at the same time. Inhale, halfway lift, either hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the sternum and chest closer to the shins. Breathe into those hamstrings. And at the same time now, take the tops of the hands to the ground, and I want us to kind of rock side to side here. And now fingers come towards one another as we rock side to side. And now fingers come away from one another and we rock side to side. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Coming to the center of the mat here. Let's do a cleansing breath together. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Hands by the chest, elbows up. We're going to add a little hop here. Beautiful. Rotate those big toes in slightly. I want you to press outer edges of the feet. Awaken the arches. This is a pose in itself, the 5-point star. Draw your left arm back. Take your right arm to meet the left arm. And take the left hand to clasp the elbow. This is now a little bit of a shoulder stretch. And I want you to almost draw the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Continue to press outer edges of the feet, root under the big toe mounds. Breathe into the hamstrings. Release the shoulders at the same time. The power of our personal practice, connecting our entire body. We'll stay here several breaths. Inhale, rise, belly button to the spine, back is flat and up. Cleansing breath. Draw that right arm back, left hand to meet it, clasp above the elbow. Draw the right elbow to the left elbow. Draw the shoulders down the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, back flat, belly button to the spine, and root and rise. We're all connected here. Release. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Adjusting this left foot, your left foot, 90 degrees. Rotate that back foot in about 15 degrees. Preparing for Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle. It's also how we get in and out of this pose. Inhale, root into the ground. Create length in the spine. Exhale, reach the left hand toward the wall. Draw the hand to the shin. Keep the body in one plane. The shoulders stacked over one another. Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. If the neck bothers you, you can gaze at the ground and gaze straight ahead. If you can, you lower a little bit, but we want to keep the body in one plane. Energy out the right fingertips. Again, draw the bottom ribs forward. Breathe into that back hip. Inhale, root and rise. Draw that left arm, left hip up. Reverse triangle. Take the right hand now by that left hip. Add a little bind here. Preparing for triangle again, a half triangle bind here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach, reach, reach. Hand to the shin or to the ground, and continue to draw the top shoulder back, bottom ribs forward. Breathe into that back hip. Inhale, breathe into the back hip and foot, root and rise. 5-point star, transition that foot. Cleansing breath, inhale. Exhale. Adjusting now that right foot. Draw that back foot in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach towards that wall. Be aware of that transition. Hand to the shin, shoulder stacked over one another. If we can, we come a little bit lower. Breathe into the back hip. Draw the top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Continue to press outer edge of the back foot. Breathe into the back hip. Inhale, rise, reverse triangle. Draw that right arm up, right hip up, and take the left hand to the right hip. Reverse triangle, half bind. Gently prepare for triangle, half bind. Lower that right hand. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Either hand to the shin or possibly a little bit lower. Draw the top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Breathe into that back hip. Inhale, root and rise. 5-point star. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Heel, toe it in. Beautiful. Coming to the edge of the mat, we'll add a little Surya Namaskara A into either partial chaturanga or chaturanga, you decide. Inhale, draw those arms up. If we can, bring the palms together and come into a little bit of a back bend. Open the chest, open the heart. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive down into our little forward fold. Come more sternum and chest close to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Framing the feet, step back into Falakasana, hair plank. Dome the upper back. Either partial chaturanga where we lower to the knees, or we bring the sternum and the chest forward, shoulders in line with those elbows, chaturanga dandasana. Transition to up dog. Inhale, press to the tops of the feet. Draw those hips forward. Notice my thighs off the ground, inner thighs spiraling back, broaden the collarbones, pelvis forward. Breathe into the lower back. Exhale, lead with those hips. Down dog pose. Press through the palms, lengthen the spine, trying to get the heels now an inch or two closer to the ground. Pubis bone back and up. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, open the chest, open the heart. Exhale, heart centered. Beautiful. Coming to the edge of the mat, Parvo Tanasana, pyramid pose. We're going to step the left foot back a few inches shorter than a full leg length. Stable back foot, stable hips. The heel and heel intersect. If we need to make it an inch or two wider, you can to help you with the flexibility. At first, we try to get the hips just facing forward. Stable back foot, stable hips. Inhale, draw those arms up. This is where some of you may take the block and place it also at the foot of the pyramid pose. I'll demonstrate real quick just in case. So we gotta utilize the props if we need to. So our arms are up. Inhale, draw those arms up. Exhale, we reach forward. We reach forward. Stable back foot, stable hips. Some of you might utilize that block as you come more to that forefoot of that right hip, of that right foot, but you continue to press outer edge of that left foot. Beautiful, beautiful Parvo Tanasana pyramid pose. You almost draw the inner thighs where they almost touch here. Beautiful. Transitioning to reverse triangle. Some of us are going to keep that left hand down on the inside of the foot, and some of us will take it on the outside as we grow this pose. Draw the left bottom ribs forward, right top ribs back, shoulders stacked over one another. Continue to press outer edge of that back foot. Stay here several breaths. Gently release. It's beautiful for the spine. And we transition into this nicely. Back to our pyramid pose. And maybe we use this opportunity to draw the sternum and chest closer to the shin. Belly button to the spine. Inhale, back flat and rise. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Step that right leg back. Pyramid pose. Both hips facing forward. Inhale, arms up. Some of us might take the block out. If we want to use the block, I'll adjust here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, come into forward fold. Adjust, come more onto this left midfoot just a bit. Rotate that right hip forward. Beautiful Parvo Tanasana. We're going to stay here several breaths. Stable back foot, stable hips. You almost feel those inner thighs touching. Transitioning to revolved triangle, we're going to keep either the right hand inside the foot to make it easier, or take it outside, and then we're going to grow the pose. Beautiful. Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Fingertips to the ceiling if we can, or hand to the hip for beginners. Gently lower the hand, come back to pyramid pose. So the hand kind of frames this left foot. And maybe we draw the sternum and chest closer to the shin. Beautiful. Belly button to the spine. Inhale, back flat and rise. Step forward. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Those standing postures are challenging, but they're so good for the pelvic hip girdle and the spine. Every once in a while, you kind of lose your balance, but you're working at it. This is the heart of the practice. This gets us to our mat. It helps us build that physical and emotional strength. Bakasana is a pose that I have fun with. Beautiful crow pose, Bakasana. We can keep a block here for beginners, okay? In Bakasana, they can rest their forehead on there. We're going to start with mountain pose. Inhale, draw those arms up. Energy out the fingertips. Exhale, swan dive down into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. It's here we're going to kind of relevate up on the balls of the feet. On the exhale, we're widening the knees here. We're still relevate up, and the hands are directly under the shoulders, okay? And we think of the elbows coming outside of the shins, and that ability of the knees to come up high on the armpits, okay? High on the armpits here. And we find this balance, and maybe it's one toe at a time, and maybe we don't even pick up our toes in Bakasana crow pose, but eventually we draw the heels closer to the buttocks, and we use the core to lift the hips. Maybe we take the block. For the beginners, we rest our head here. Beautiful. Use the core to lift the hips, heels towards the buttocks. It's almost principles, a little bit of chaturanga here. Gently lower, heels to the ground, forward fold. Draw the arms forward. Let's do belly button to the spine, back flat, and rise. Cleansing breath. Let's come to the center of the mat. Cleansing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Fun practice today. Garudasana eagle pose. We're going to connect the upper body and the lower body. And we're going to draw the femur heads inward and take the arms in two different expressions, but we're all coming together. So as I face you here, you're going to root through the four corners. Some of you might use a block here. So the block is there for beginners. You're going to root through the four corners of the right foot. You're going to draw the left leg as a beginner to the block here. Or you're going to take the left foot outside of, right behind the calf there. And then you're going to draw that right arm over the top, left arm underneath. Eagle arms the best that you can. Maybe it's like a little hug here. But the palms come together, shoulders align with those elbows, and we sink a little bit lower. Beautiful eagle pose. Transition, come out of that pose. Cleansing breath. We're going to work on the other side. Block outside that left foot. Root through the four corners of the left foot. We're going to draw the right leg either to the block or behind the calf, so I hook that foot behind the calf. We're going to draw the left arm over the right. Shoulders align with those elbows. We draw those palms forward. We sink lower. We draw those hips almost towards one another. Beautiful balance, beautiful strength. The body is connected. We are one. Body, mind, and soul. Find your drishti, find your gaze. Inhale, rise. Cleansing breath. Beautiful practice today. Falakasana again, if you would like to use the block, you're going to set it forward for yourselves. Come into Tadasana here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Releve on the balls of the feet, heels lifted, and draw those knees out and wide. And place, if we can, so the elbows outside of the shins, place the knees up high on the armpits, and we draw the sternum forward a bit. Use the core to lift the hips, draw the feet towards the buttocks, gaze forward and down. Stay here several breaths. Gently lower the heels to the ground. Forward fold. Walk those hands back. Bring the sternum and chest close to the shins. Come more to the midfoot. Belly button to the spine. Back is flat and rise. Beautiful. One of my favorite parts of the sequence today is we're going to work on our drop backs. So we've done standing postures. We're awake. Our spine is awake. And we're going to open the chest and open the heart. Another reason why I practice, right, is a well-rounded practice. And it just stimulates me, challenges me, and makes me feel good. And these drop backs, moving my spine in this direction, is healthy. You're only as young as your spine is flexible. So I come about an arm length distance. And I'm going to turn around here and let me just demonstrate. I'm going to push into the wall, it's a leveraged back bend, to open my chest and open my heart. So I'll just demonstrate. Inhale, lengthen. My feet are hip width apart, about 6 or 8 inches apart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, I come onto the wall and I push here. Open my chest. Open my heart. And rise. Now we're going to stay there longer than that, about 5 breaths or so. Okay? So I want you to really come into that pose, push into the wall, open the chest, open the heart. Feet hip width apart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come into the wall here and push into the wall, open the chest and the heart. Inhale, rise. Beautiful. Now I've practiced, so I'm going to go even a few inches farther than that, down the wall. Maybe we're going to stay right where we are, but we're going to practice this a couple times. Inhale, create length. Exhale, press, and come back into the wall. I'm going to come back a little bit farther. I might even releve up on the balls of my feet. Lower the heels. Walk it back up. Beautiful. Heart-centered. Let's do this again. Inhale, draw length. Exhale, walk back. Push into the wall, open the chest, maybe releve up. Walk it back up. Hands heart-centered. I have it in my practice where I'm going to walk back even farther. But we are listening to where we are. And maybe we just lightly push into the wall and we don't go that far back. We're honoring where we are, opening the chest, opening the heart. I'm going to walk back and I'm going to try to get my chest, armpits towards the wall because I have this in my practice. I've been working on this for months and months. Inhale, draw those arms up. But I'm always aware of injuries and where I am. After practicing 6 months, you might attempt this. Only if you have it in your practice. Some people never. Exhale, come back. Push into the wall. Most of us just here, open the chest, open the heart. Here I am, chest to the wall. I releve up on the balls of the feet. Come back up, walk it back up. Beautiful. Neutralizing the spine, we're going to come into beautiful forward fold. But first, let's kind of reach towards the ceiling a little bit more. Just neutralize the spine and Urdhva Hastasana, energy out the fingertips. Gently lower to the ground. Preparing for a forward fold in our practice, Paschimottanasana. This is where we root through the sitting bones. Some of you maybe need to utilize a strap and bend the knees a little bit to help come forward. Some of you may sit up on a blanket or a smaller block if you have one and just help root the pelvis forward a bit. So we have two ways, the strap, and some of us are going to take a block, or maybe even 2 blocks if you're like me, and take outer edges of the feet, rotate them back. Inhale, we create length. Exhale, we reach forward. We reach sternum, chest, forward. Beautiful. Outer edges of the feet. Light awakening here as we engage the quadriceps to release the hamstrings. We'll stay here several breaths. Inhale, positivity. Exhale, negativity. Release those hamstrings. Longer exhales. Truly being present. This is another gift my practice gives me. Inhale and rise. Exhale, heart-centered. Okay, now I'd like to share with you a pose I'm excited for us to do. We're going to come onto our stomachs here. And we're going to draw the right knee in line with the hip. And notice my foot is directly in line with the knee, a half frog. And we're going to try to get the pelvis rooted into the ground here. So multi-dimensions of this pose. We're going to start where we thread the left arm underneath to release the shoulders. And we rest our head kind of into this right elbow here. Good. Release that left shoulder. Just enjoy and kind of relax into this multi-dimensional pose here. Half frog, half shoulder release. Beautiful. And now we're going to take that right arm, the back of the right arm, towards the ground. Beautiful. And we're going to take the left hand to the right knee, and we're going to gaze over that right shoulder. Gently release. So it's a little bit of a spinal twist in there comes into play as well from the half frog. Gently release. Draw that left knee up in line with the hip here. The foot is pointed out. It's in line with the knee. We're going to rest kind of the forehead onto the mat at first, trying to get the pelvis rooted into the ground. This is good for our pelvic hip girdle as well. And we're going to draw that right arm and kind of thread the right shoulder into the ground and rest our head into the left elbow. And we're going to draw that left arm, the top of the arm comes to the ground, to your back. Good. And the right hand comes to the left knee. Trying to get the left shoulder kind of onto the ground. Gently release. Let's prepare for our Shavasana here. Let's nestle our way down. Did a well-rounded practice. Extend the arms, extend the legs. And truly let it go. One last long stretch. And relax the palms. I want us to relax the feet. Sometimes I kind of nestle the shoulder blades in a bit. Surrendering to the pose here. Beautiful Shavasana. The breath is natural. Almost be aware of the chest expansion of the beautiful inhales and the exhales. But we truly let it go. It's our natural breath. Surrender. Let go. Regenerate. Feel the chest expand on the inhale and just melt into the ground as we surrender. Preparing to come out of our Shavasana, little movements in your fingers and toes. Gently bend the knees. Right arm over the head. Use the left hand to press yourself up. Draw those arms heart-centered. Reflecting back on the gifts that our practice gives to us. Acknowledge the effort you put forward today and the energy. Namaste. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today.